Today, we are breaking down France versus Senegal in the 2026 FIFA World Cup group stage. The final score was France 3, Senegal 1. But this match was much more than a simple victory for France. It had history, pressure, emotion, and a second-half performance that showed why France are still one of the most dangerous teams in world football. To understand this game, we have to go back to 2002. That year, Senegal shocked the world by beating defending champions France in one of the biggest upsets in World Cup history. It was the match that announced Senegal to the world and exposed France in the most painful way possible. So when France and Senegal met again on the World Cup stage in 2026, this was not just another group game. It felt like a football story coming full circle, but the match did not start easily for France. In the first half, Senegal were brave, aggressive, and very well organized. They were not afraid of France's reputation. They pressed, they competed physically, and they tried to disrupt France's rhythm from the beginning. France had the bigger names, but Senegal had the intensity. For long periods, France looked uncomfortable. Their attack was slow, their movement was not sharp enough, and Senegal managed to make the game feel difficult. The first half showed that Senegal were not just there to defend. They were there to fight, and that is why this match was interesting. France did not win because everything was easy. France won because they adjusted, stayed patient, and found another level after halftime. The biggest difference in the second half was the way France used their attacking quality. Michael Olise became more influential between the lines. He found pockets of space, connected midfield to attack, and gave France more creativity in dangerous areas. Once France started moving the ball faster, Senegal's defensive structure began to open. Then came the first major breakthrough. Kylian Mbappé scored to make it 1-0. That goal changed the entire game. Before the goal, Senegal looked confident and emotionally strong. But once France took the lead, Senegal had to change their approach. They could no longer only control spaces and wait for opportunities. They had to take more risks. And against France, risk is dangerous. Because France have speed. France have individual quality. And most importantly, France have players who can punish one small mistake. After the opening goal, France became more comfortable. The pressure moved onto Senegal. France began to attack with more freedom, and their wide players started finding more space. Then Bradley Barcola scored France's second goal. At 2-0, the match started to feel like France had control. Senegal were still fighting, still pushing, and still showing character, but France had become much more clinical. Senegal did manage to score late through Ibrahim Mbappé, and for a brief moment, there was a little bit of hope. At 2-1, you could feel the tension return. World Cup matches can change very quickly, and one goal can completely transform the final minutes. But France responded like a mature team. Instead of panicking, they finished the job. Mbappé scored again, this time with a brilliant late strike, and France sealed the match 3-1. So why did France win? First, France won because of second-half adjustments. They did not play their best football in the first half, but they improved after the break. The tempo became faster, the passing became sharper, and the attacking movement became more dangerous. Second, France had more individual quality and decisive moments. This is what separates elite teams at the World Cup. Senegal competed well. They were strong, organized, and brave. But when the biggest moments arrived, France had Mbappé, Barcola, and Olise producing the key actions. Third, France managed the pressure better. This match carried emotional weight because of the history between the two nations. Senegal's 2002 win is still remembered as one of the most iconic World Cup shocks ever. France knew that story. Senegal knew that story. The fans knew that story. But in 2026, France handled the pressure better. Senegal deserve respect for their performance. The scoreline says 3-1, but the match was not easy for France. Senegal's first half was strong, their physical presence caused problems, and they showed that they can compete with top teams. The problem for Senegal was efficiency. They had good moments, but they did not punish France when the match was still level. Against a team like France, missed chances and small defensive gaps can become very expensive. France, on the other hand, were ruthless when it mattered. And that is the biggest lesson from this match. At the World Cup, you do not always need to dominate for 90 minutes. Sometimes you need to survive difficult periods, adjust at the right time, and then use your quality when the